Hey, I'm excited. Thank you so much for being here. This is going to be a very interesting conversation that we're going to have as we talk about social media, spending your time on social media. Where are you spending your time? What are you doing? My name is Jimmy Lee. I'll be the host with you today and the voice for you. So if you've got questions, we've got answers. We've got the people here that can help us to disseminate and dissect this information and help us to understand what it is we're looking at as we look at social media as a medium of communication. Joining us today in our joint webinar is Mr. James Harris, joining us from the back seat, not
That's
the front
right.
seat. Thank you
Gotta
to
gotta
my,
stay out on the road so we can hit that 400 shop number again this year, Jimmy.
well, I know you got to stay on the road, but thank heavens you're not driving while doing this webinar.
That's right. Hey, not this time. We're in the back seat, lounging a little bit. We're really taking it all in.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I did do a webinar once at 88 miles an hour. I was
Whew.
not driving. I was not driving. I was the passenger. We were going across the 10 from Biloxi, Mississippi, all the way through to Florida. So that was awesome. I did do a webinar at 88 miles an
I
hour. How
love
about
it.
that?
No, well, I'm glad to be here. Unfortunately, I don't have a driver today, so I've got to take the lead, but I'm gonna take it in stride. So we're gonna take it and run with
Well, and here's James, my backseat driver. Thank you very much, James, for being here.
it. You got it. Appreciate it.
Yeah. And you notice the picture?
I
The
love it.
picture?
Hey,
Are
that we
you
were just having a great time in California.
right? We were just there at the team weekend, ASCCA. Great conference there. James was there. I was there. I thought, oh my gosh, we definitely got to get a picture of this. And look
Right.
how long that hair is. I have got to get a haircut. Just look at that. See, that's
It's
a good
looking
haircut
good. I
right there.
know.
Got to bust out the Flowbee and see what I can do. Thank you for being here, James. We really appreciate it. We appreciate
Absolutely.
Steer, and congratulations on the merger of Steer and Auto Ops.
Yes, a lot of great
Man,
things that are going to come out of that. It's super exciting. We're really happy to have that team with us now, 100% working with them every day. And, they're bringing great ideas. We're bringing great ideas. And there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be able to come out of that. So we're really excited to see what the future holds here with the Steer and Auto Ops team.
oh, that's super cool. Because if we boiled it down to it, it's Steer is the CRM, Auto Ops is the online appointment setting. Super powerful tool for the two of you guys to come
Yes.
together. Congratulations. That's
Thank you.
awesome. Yeah. And let's bring in our main guest here, Mr. Chris Enright from Enright Automotive out in Ohio. Chris,
Hey
how are
everybody.
you?
Good. How are you?
Oh, we're great, man. Thank you for joining us. And your shop is like 900 square feet in the back 20 acres of your property. Is that right?
Yeah. Back 2 acres, but yeah. Yep, absolutely.
Oh my gosh. How do you warn clients and customers coming in? Just watch out for the tricycles and the children. Clear of the playground, please.
That's right. We keep our kids away from there, I guess.
Yeah, that's awesome. I do see a lot of the home at the front, driveway, shop at the back. I see a lot of that in Indiana. I've seen a lot of that in Illinois. James, you've probably seen a lot of those as well, where you've got that flagpole property at the back of the property. Well, that's awesome that you did that, Chris.
It's been a great journey. I constantly tell people it was a great way to start and we're ready to grow and ready to expand. So it's been exciting for sure.
Yeah, and you have the quintessential story of every technician that started in the industry and became a shop owner. Chris, what is that story?
So I started out at an independent shop, then went to a dealership, then kind of mixed it around in between there, between dealerships and independents, and then got frustrated and started my own shop because I thought I could do it better for cheaper.
Yes. And is there any, I love that you said that. Thank you. Is there anything that you didn't know that you didn't know that now you know as an owner that we
Yes.
can share? I mean, because there's a lot of technicians that are out there and they're disgruntled. They're like, man, I know I can do this better. You're only paying me 40 bucks an hour. You're paying me 50 bucks an hour, but I know you're charging 200 bucks at the door. So you're putting 150 in your pocket. What did you learn?
I learned that business has a lot of overhead. You can't do it better for cheaper. And there is a lot you don't know about owning a business. When I started out running the shop, I was a terrible business owner, as most techs turned shop owners that I meet are the same way. So the two are nothing in the same, not even close.
It's so true, isn't it?
Hmm.
It's so true. There's so much. So as I go around the country, and James, I know you see this as you go around the country as well.
Yes.
Super, super polished, wonderful technicians that can work on anything. It's like cars talk to them. You understand Japanese. You work on a lot of Japanese cars. There's shops that speak German. There's shops that speak, you know where I'm going? Like the car rolls in and you say, "Oh, that's what's wrong." Technicians, highly skilled, super talented. Service advisors at the front counter, super skilled, different skill set. Sometimes a technician can be a service advisor, sometimes they can't. Did you find it difficult to go from being a technician to being a service advisor?
Yeah, so actually, while I was at the dealership, I had a short stint where I wanted to be an advisor. So I actually worked at the dealership as an advisor for about 3 or 4 months. And I think it was 2 months in, I told my service manager, I want to go back. I hate this. I hated every minute of it. And so as soon as I could go back to being a tech, I went back to being a tech. And it's funny because now, as a shop owner, I
You're
want
back to being a service
I'm
advisor.
back to being a service advisor and the tech, and I prefer being the service advisor most days. So I'm starting to move back, but I've also had a lot of training now too. So that has helped my service advisor side a lot. Getting a lot of those training and going to training events and stuff like that has been a huge benefit.
Nice. And those training events, what are you taking as a former technician turned service advisor, business owner now? What are the courses, man? What are the courses, classes that you're taking these
So
days?
the very first event, I made the same mistake as a lots do, and I went and took a lot of technical classes, and I think I took one management class, and then when I went, I actually won the scholarship to Vision back in 2021, I think it was. Yeah, 2021. And so that you have to take all management classes, and that's kind of really when things kicked off. And I took several management and advisor classes while I was there. And that's kind of where things kind of took a 180. And I started really putting in practice what I was learning in those management classes at the training events. So ASTA, Vision, etc.
There's somebody, and there's probably a lot of somebodies that have that exact same story where they went to the conferences, the trade shows, the training, and they're taking all the technical classes. Do you know Lucas Underwood?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Same story. He shows up and he's meted at the door, and somebody says, "Hey, I see you're an owner and you're taking all the technical classes. What management classes are you going to take?" Oh no, I gotta be able to work on cars. You need to be able to work on your business.
100%. It's not all about fixing cars when you start a business. I tell people constantly all the time online that I would say at least 60% of my time sitting right here in front of this computer, talking to clients, doing paperwork, estimates, finishing up inspections, doing invoicing. You spend more time at the computer and dealing with clients than you do on the car. And so that's why it's not all about fixing cars when you want to start your own shop.
Yeah. So that's why people are parking in the grass now at the property because you ran out of parking lot because you're on the phone with them. You don't have time to fix their cars.
That's right.
Oh
Oh
my
God.
gosh. And you started your shop in 2020.
February of 2020, a month before all the COVID stuff.
That's what I was gonna say. I remember where I was March of 2020 when the world shut down. My flight was canceled and I had to drive home.
Yeah, it was
Man.
interesting timing for sure. We were very, very unsure of things without a doubt. And what's even crazier, I mean, it was perfect timing for us actually because they laid everybody off except for two techs at the dealership. So I wouldn't have been working anyways. So they only kept the two most seniority guys. So
Right. And you didn't have that seniority at the
no,
dealership, so you'd have been out. Oh my
for sure.
gosh. Wow.
Yep.
So clearly you survived COVID. Clearly you survived as a business, as a company. Dude,
Yes.
that's amazing.
Yeah, we did great. We actually doubled our revenue from year one to year three. So we did extremely well.
Nice. Congratulations. That's good.
Thank you.
That's really good to hear. At what point did you go from, hey, I'm going to work on these cars? At what point did you start picking up the camera to document a lot of what you're doing?
So it actually all started with my wife, actually, because I kept
Your wife
telling
was filming all this stuff?
in the beginning, she was filming the videos for me. Because I kept telling her, I'm like, I need to record these videos of like my top 10 Hondas and my worst five Hondas and, like going through and just telling people my opinions and thoughts around Hondas because, of course, I specialize in Hondas and I wanted as many Honda customers as I could get in the building. And so finally, one day she was like, here, give me the phone. Let's record this video and get it done. And that's how it all started. We recorded it in an apartment that we were staying at because we were in between houses.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
that's how it all started. I started out that way doing those types of videos only on Facebook. I wasn't doing hardly any Instagram or any of the other platforms. And then it was never consistent. I would do like a video here, a video there, like maybe every one a month, maybe. And then as time progressed, I was doing more consistent videos, but not really putting a ton of effort into it. And I'd always liked watching tool review videos and tool videos. And so that's when really things started kicking off because I was like, you know what? If all these people are getting free tools, why can't I? And so I started doing tool review videos and got really excited about that. And so that's what got me going. And then as the pages grew, I had more technicians and shop owners asking me about the shop and my journey and how I got started. And, what do I recommend? Because I would talk about those things on my stories, but not just in my regular videos. And so that's what morphed me going into talking about the industry and talking about how I got started and what I did to fix things and what I do for marketing and CRMs and SMSs and all of those things. So it's kind of just worked its way naturally, which has been great.
Man,
Right.
Chris, you tell me it started with free tools and got all the way up to where it is now, where you can really go in, dive in, and talk and really benefit the whole industry. That's quite the story right there.
Yeah, it's been
Uh,
amazing for sure.
I can definitely see the love-hate relationship you have with all these tools and different brand suppliers.
Yes, very much so. It's mostly a love-hate relationship with all of the hate on the internet. It's quite interesting. It's an interesting dynamic for sure.
Yeah, I've seen you really pump up some tools there. I think, and you know what I find interesting too is your customer base. It seems that you say you started on Facebook, but man, it seems like Instagram has really taken off, and that's where you have the majority of your followers.
Yeah, Instagram has actually been the hardest to grow, but it's my strongest community by far. And I
Yeah.
think it's because in the beginning, like when I really started putting time and effort into it, Instagram was the place that I spent most of my time and put all of my effort in towards. I actually started my TikTok 6 months after I started all my other accounts, like actually recording them, or I
Yeah.
mean, doing videos, I'm sorry. And then I didn't even put any effort into TikTok until a year later when I was already doing a bunch of videos. So in the beginning, I had no interest in TikTok. I was primarily focused on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.
Well, you probably don't dance very well either.
No, no, I definitely don't.
Because you have to dance to be on TikTok, right?
That's what they say. That's what David Roman says,
I
anyways.
mean, that's how
Does he
Jimmy's
really?
TikTok's gonna take off.
Yes.
Yeah, my TikTok's gonna be lit because I can groove, man.
Oh gosh, that's awesome.
That's funny. So you started in Facebook, you changed over to Instagram. Instagram is your better following. I didn't even know you had a TikTok stuff. So probably everything I'm seeing on Facebook and Instagram starts on TikTok, or are you doing different stuff for all the different platforms?
So I do different stuff for most of them get the same content, but I definitely record individual videos for each platform. So like on TikTok, I just recorded like an almost 10-minute video talking about gross revenue numbers and what the potential is of a one-person shop owner. So it's what I like
How does
about.
TikTok have a 10-minute video?
I know they actually have some people invited into 30-minute videos. So you can do
Wow.
40 minutes if you're invited into that. Yeah.
Dude, I
So
thought TikTok was all about the 6 seconds and the 8 second
They were, and so what I tell people constantly is all of these platforms always are competing against each other and they want the users on their platform. So
Yeah.
TikTok is trying to pull in that YouTube
The
demographic.
long form.
They want the long form. So they started pushing, and actually, so if you record a full screen video, they'll actually boost it for you on purpose to give you additional views because you're using full screen because they're trying to push that for people to watch. Same thing with the 10-minute videos. They're not pushing those, but they're allowing you to do longer videos. So I actually do quite a bit of longer videos on YouTube, or I mean on TikTok than I do the other platforms, especially when it's talking about industry stuff for sure.
Yeah. So some of the Instagrams that I've seen for you that you've done on your Facebook might have one, two teens, maybe 20s that have any interaction with it, but your Instagram following is in the thousands on the same video. Well,
Mhm.
it seems to be the same video. It's
Yeah.
probably different, but yeah,
They're similar. They're a lot of those are the same. So if I post on Instagram, those most of those post automatically on Facebook. I have it set up because they're Meta, so I have it set up like that. And yeah, Instagram does really well. And even it's funny because sometimes I'll post the same video on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, and one does tremendously better on one platform than the others. And then sometimes they'll all three do really well. It really depends on the video and who's watching it, how they interact, how it relates to people, and all of that stuff matters. How long people watch the video, video duration is a huge part of it as well. So that all matters.
well, and I wonder from our audience, are you guys doing videos? Are you doing TikToks? Are you doing Facebook? Are you doing Instagrams? Are you doing some of this stuff? So I've seen Royalty Automotive Service, Sherwood.
Yeah, Sherwood Royalty Auto Service. Yep.
Dude, he has blown up on TikTok.
Yeah. Him and Dave's Auto Center, and then Brandon
Dave's, yeah.
Sloan, who is a tech working for someone else, but he's got 1 million followers. And he's getting ready to start his own shop again. So, that having that, because people will bring him transmissions because he's a GM transmission specialist. They will bring him transmissions from other states to have him rebuild it at this other shop. So the power of social media is quite literally incredible. And the fact that it's free if you want it to be is even more incredible. So
Yeah. So you can boost it, but you probably haven't boosted any of your videos. You don't
I've
see
only
the need for it.
I don't boost any videos. The only videos I boost is if I have some sort of affiliation and I'm getting some sort of commission from it. I'll boost it because I know that my return will be back on my affiliate links or whatnot. So my commissions go up if I boost it. But outside
Okay.
of that, none of my other videos get boosted. And I've had, anywhere, I think my highest viewed videos like 32 million. I just had one that did like 20 million, 21 million views. And those are tool videos, so keep that in mind. Those are different. Typically, the ones where you're like talking about industry stuff, they'll do well. Like I have quite a few of those that will do well and go into the 50 to 100,000 views, but they're not gonna crush it like some of these other videos. So, but I constantly tell people when I talk about social media, it's good to mix it in because you want to catch those algorithm boosts in there. Because when I hit that 20 million view video, every video I posted after that absolutely dominated and they all did
Mm.
extremely well. So you can
Mm.
ride that down and try to, I try anytime that happens, I'll ride that wave as long as I can and I'll post video after video after video, like not all in the same day, but I mean consistently making sure I have at least 1 to 2 videos a day riding that wave for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
Chris, how are you going through picking what content to put on these videos and which content's going to hit harder on which platforms or things like that? How are you going through that decision process of making that choice?
So I don't. So now that I hired my assistant, I am actually have been sitting down and going through my analytics and analyzing like video duration, what type of reach it's reaching on as far as followers versus non-followers, which I'm actually finding out some really, really interesting information of how to reach your core followers, which has been fantastic. But honestly, I can't like I've just been doing it now. It's been 2.5 years now. Like
yeah.
you never really know if a video is just going to go absolutely viral, but you do start
Right.
to get a feel for like, oh, this video is going to do well. I recorded this video and I added this audio and it just fits. But that was not like that in the beginning. I had no idea. Like I was just throwing any audio with any video and just posting them out there and just getting them out there, which in the beginning, that's what you need to do because just like anything, just like becoming a tech, just like starting a shop, anything you learn new, it's going to be a learning curve. It's going to take time. You're not more than likely going to go viral overnight. That's pretty rare. So you
Yeah.
have to learn it and understand it. So now when I create a video, I know the algorithm better. I know the videos better. I know the audio better. So I know how to fit things. I know how to start a video because you want to grab their attention. I used to say within the first 5 seconds. It's within the first 3 seconds. Honestly, within the first probably 1 or 2 seconds, you have to grab their attention because people are swiping so fast now. It's quite literally crazy. So
I tried to watch with my son. I was like, dude, you don't even see anything. He's like, flick. Oh, no, 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 no. Like it's a half a second for him. For
yeah,
me, you got a good 17 seconds, but just kidding.
yeah, it's really really short attention span. So grabbing their attention in that first second or so is absolutely huge for sure. So
Yeah.
I've been playing around with some stuff the last few months. I don't have all the information and data yet, but it's gonna be really exciting when I do because and I'll be sharing it all as well. Just kind
What
of showing people what I've been finding out.
you going to share this at Asta?
No, I won't. But I'll be sharing it on my social media platforms.
Oh, good. So everybody tuned in.
Yes.
That's a nice hook there. Thank you very much, Chris. We all need to watch Chris's information because he's going to post it on social media. So, oh man, I had a question I was going to ask. There is questions coming in from our audience that I want to make sure that we address. And one of them says there'll be Adam is saying we're going to be talking about the product in this webinar. So I don't know exactly what Adam is going to be talking about, and unless he's talking about you, Chris, because I think you're the product here. Just kidding. Avery says that they are doing Facebook and Instagram. They're doing Facebook and Instagram Reels.
Nice.
You finding those Reels, do those translate easily over to TikTok as well?
Yes, very much so. I mean, it's hit and miss. They won't always do as good on TikTok. Sometimes they'll do better. But
Yeah.
I personally think if you're doing those, you might as well just cross post onto TikTok. Now, if you originally record on TikTok and you have the watermarks and then you post on YouTube or Instagram, they don't typically do very well. None of the platforms play nicely with each other except for Facebook and Instagram because they're meta. Outside of that, you really want to try not to cross post if they have watermarks on them. So I always
So
try to.
does that is that talking to the fact that I'm going to record it on my camera, not on my TikTok camera or my Facebook camera?
Correct. So if you don't film it within the app itself, just film it on your regular camera on your phone and then post it there. Because like if you post natively on TikTok through the app, it's going to have that TikTok watermark on there, and you don't
And
want that.
I've seen that. I've seen that on Facebook because I'm generally a Facebook person, and most of our clients at the Institute are Facebook heavy.
Mhm,
So we have found that our Facebook almost 5 to 1, 10 to 1, 15 to 1 to Instagram.
mhm,
I haven't tried anything with TikTok yet. And LinkedIn, we're starting to break into LinkedIn as well. We've turned that on here in the last 4 or 5 months. And I'm learning a lot of interesting things about TikTok. Andrew is waiting for me to fly out to New York before they start their Facebook, Instagram stuff. Andrew, I'll be there. And then we'll go get us a plate of trash. Keith is wondering, now Keith's in Salt Lake City, Utah. Keith's wondering what software, what equipment are you using for the beginner? For somebody that's
So
just going to start, what are you going to suggest here, Chris?
So in the beginning, this is all you need is your phone. So this is all I use is my phone. And even to this day, 2.5 years later, it's still about what I record. Probably 70% of my content is on my phone. If you have a newer iPhone or a newer Android phone, the cameras are quite literally incredible. If you have anything, I think it's 13 and later, where it's the Pro Maxes, they're
Yeah.
top-notch quality, 4K, all of that. The one thing I tell people for sure to invest in is I have it right here, a wireless microphone. So I have two types of wireless microphones. Either you can do DJI, which that's what this is. DJI is the brand, or you can do Rhodes, Rodes. So they're called Wireless Go Rhodes 2 or something like that. I don't
Yeah.
have those here. I have someone borrowing those right now to try them out. But that's what I used when I started. So either are great quality, the DJIs are a little bit more expensive, but they seem to be a little bit better quality. And then I upgraded to this. It's a DJI Pocket 3 and it has a built-in gimbal on it. You can record. So if I have the screen turned this way, it's full screen. If I have it turned this way, it's vertical for short form. And that was like, I bought the creators package. So it came with one microphone and a bunch of extra stuff. And I think that was like $629. Definitely worth buying, after you've started filming. And if you want to buy it in the beginning, you can. I just encourage people to really focus on getting the content filmed and posted because so many people are critical of the videos, critical of themselves, critical of their voice. It's natural, it's normal. You'll get over it, you get used to it. What my friend Brian Walker always says is that's what we all see and hear all the time anyway. So it's okay. It's totally fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard the exact same thing from Darren LaCroix. He says, that's what you sound like. That's what you look like. Get over it.
It's so true. And it's funny because in the beginning, I absolutely hated it. And now I'm so used to it, it doesn't even phase me. So I have well over, I think, 2,300 videos posted on Instagram now and thousands of videos on TikTok as well. You get used to it. It's okay. Like people are fine with it. I promise.
Okay. So a cell phone, wireless mic. And I totally agree with you. Super props for the mic because that audio comes across and it needs to be crystal clear, easy to understand, easy. Don't force me to cringe to try and understand what you're saying. Make it easy for me to understand what you're saying. Has to be
Yes.
there.
Yeah, people will watch a video with bad video quality. They will not watch a video
Yeah.
with bad audio quality. So you need good audio
Yeah.
quality. The only other thing I would say is find a good tripod. I used one, I forget what they're called, but one of the bendy uh, tripods that you can like wrap around stuff. And I used my underhoist stand and rolled that around and just had it wrapped around. And that's what I used for the first probably year. And then I finally bought an actual tripod. So that's what I tell people. You don't need anything fancy to get started. You really just need the dedication and consistency to actually do it. And unfortunately, most people don't do that. They won't either get started at all or they'll post a few videos and then stop. So you've got to
Yeah.
be consistent because if you're not consistent, you'll never see results. Now, there are some things to do after you get consistent, but the consistency gets you started. Then you
Yes.
start making adjustments because I've seen people post consistently and their page never grows and they get a couple hundred views every single video and it never changes. Well, that's because the content is not good, but then they never change the content. But you have to start that consistency, then take a look at your videos and be like, okay, these aren't doing very well. What do I need to do to start making some changes? Then you start making some changes from there.
And next thing you know, we're signed up for ballet lessons.
That's right.
Just kidding. No,
Doing the dances.
no, nobody has to dance. There's no dancing required in these videos. So Keith is right on the same line. He pops in with another question. So he's got an iPhone. He's got a wireless microphone. Now what? What software are you using? He's saying, do you use iMovie, which I
Okay,
think
so
is a
yeah,
software that comes with the iPhone?
editing software is what he's asking for. So how do I edit my videos? I'll be completely transparent. I don't edit very much. I always say when I talk about social media is you can edit a whole bunch if you want, or you can hardly edit at all. It's your choice. What I don't like seeing people do is worried so much that it needs to be a perfect video. It does
Yeah.
not need to be perfect, especially in the beginning. And if it's a terrible video, it's okay because no one's going to see it anyways. So just get it out there. But the editing software, to answer your question, I've used iMovie. I use Lightcut, which is a software that came with my DJI. So I use Lightcut. Then you can also use CapCut, and they have a free version and a paid version. The free version is very good. The paid version is even better.
Mm.
And there are some other ones, like if you want to get into actual like full on editing, I'm not too familiar with those softwares, like the full on.
Okay, yeah, we'll put a pause right there that says let's start number one.
Yes. Yes, perfect.
Start recording the videos, and I love what you're saying here about having that video, the one take wonder. It's raw. It's not perfect. People are gonna sneeze. They're gonna burp. They're gonna have a hiccup, and it's normal. It happens. It's okay. We're not Hollywood. Not all of us have the dashing good looks of James,
Hey, I do what I can.
but we can be on that video. We can record the video, and there you've got that raw footage, that raw information.
Exactly.
Okay. So do you find that you like to throw a lot of words up, or do you not put words up? Is that the meme area, or what do you do there?
So the only time I throw words up for me personally is if I'm using like a meme or a trending oh shoot, I forget what they call them now. But basically a trending meme essentially, and I'll throw words up with that. But outside of that, I mostly want to draw attention to the video, and they all have different styles. So if you want to do something trending, then do what you see in the trending video. So if it is like a meme style video where it's like a green screen of a character from a movie, and you see a video that somebody else did, and you want to take that idea and turn it into your own, and it has uh, captions on the top, put the text on the screen. So make sure that it's on there and use that to grab people's attention, because what that does is they see the video, then they start reading it, and guess what they're doing? They're staying on your video, which is going to
Mm.
drive views up. So yes, absolutely. And then other times I'll use it to draw people's attention to the caption down below to have them read if I'm trying to get a point across, like if I'm talking about why I say maintenance matters all the time, or why I talk about professionalism or whatever. And then I'll write a really long story. So those are more serious videos that I'll do, but I use the reel at the top to grab their attention, and I'll say read caption below. And so that way it draws them down. So then once again, they're reading the caption while the video is playing, and then hopefully they like it and then share their opinion on the video, because then that's like the trifecta, right? They're liking, commenting, sharing, or watching the entire video. So it's what you want.
Do,
You want as much interaction as possible.
do you find that you have to say that a lot of times? Do you have to remind people to like, share, comment?
I try not to, because you see that in so many videos. The only time I say that is in my YouTube videos and my long forms, and I either say it like in the beginning or I'll say it in the middle. I don't say it multiple times throughout the video. I try not to.
Yeah.
I want to get straight to the point. I found that if you're babbling on, something I had to learn early on is if you're babbling and just talking about nothing, people get really bored really fast.
Your noise, you become noise. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. How do you, how do you balance this all? How, and here's what I mean. Here you are, you start the social media to get your name out there, and you get your name out there and you become more well known, and people are bringing their cars to you, and now they're parking in the grass because the parking lot's full, and you're busy. Oh, and by the way, you have a gorgeous family. How do you work the repair shop, work the editing social media, and have the TIME to show LOVE to the family?
Great question. I will be fully transparent. At 5 o'clock, I'm done with the shop. So after 5 o'clock, the shop is done. I was one of those people in the beginning, like I said, a terrible shop owner.
Mm.
Didn't know what I was doing, wasn't charging enough, working until 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, working Saturdays and Sundays sometimes. So just
Oof.
because I thought I needed to fix more cars because I wasn't doing things appropriately as far as the business side of things. So once I started getting that figured out, now I'm done at 5 o'clock every day. I come into the shop early every morning. So I have a one of those crazy schedules. I wake up at 4:20 in the morning, I go to the gym, I come home, do all of my stuff, and then I come out to the shop at 7 a.m. We don't open till 8:30. My assistant comes in at 8. So I have an hour of uninterrupted time by myself, and then another half hour before clients really start interacting with us throughout the day. So that gives me time to come in, record videos, schedule videos. I love scheduling videos. You can go in on the apps on a lot of them and actually schedule the videos out. So that way you're not having to babysit them and be like, okay, I want to post this video today at 11 a.m. or 7 a.m. or whatever time that you feel like you want to post it that day. I
Yeah.
just schedule it out and I'm like, okay, today I'm going to post these 2 reels at these 2 times. It's scheduled and so on and so forth. And so that's what I'll do. I'll have a lot of that set up, or I'll record videos in the morning. And I'm taking care of a lot of that before my doors even open in the shop. And then I do come out here on the weekends, and I'll do live streams on TikTok. I will record a couple videos. I always try to record at least a couple videos on the weekends if I can, and spend like maybe an hour or two in the shop. If I'm doing a live stream, it's a couple hours, and I'll record a couple videos and then do a live stream for about an hour. So, but you get better with time. In the
Yes.
beginning, your reels and videos are going to take longer. If you want to trim them up, if you want to add transitions, it's going to take some time. But now I can record a video, have it posted, edited, cut, trimmed exactly how I want it within 5 to 7 minutes. That's recording the video. And then we're talking like a 15 to 30-second reel. So I can have it all done within 5 to 7 minutes. It doesn't take me long now. So I'm not spending a ton of time posting a ton of these videos. Now, some of the longer videos, of course, those take longer. Like the 10-minute video took me 10 minutes to record because I had a lot of information I wanted to get across. But those are important to me. So I spend extra time on those.
Wow. James, is your mind blown like mine? I thought, what the five
Yeah.
minutes in seven, huh? He did the
I
what?
mean, that's just what happens when you really dedicate time to a craft, right? Well, you said consistency. That's what it takes on that.
Yeah.
Consistency
Because
is key.
Carlos is asking that exact question. How much time do you dedicate to your writing, posting, editing, etc.?
And it
And it's
changes. And I do tell people all the time because we're smaller and I'm still the only one wrenching. It's a happy medium because if I don't have cars in the shop, then I don't have as much content. If I'm
mhm.
slam busy, then I don't have as much time for content. So there is a happy medium in there that works perfectly for me. If you can put somebody dedicated over content creation, it's highly advisable. You can look at plenty of examples on these platforms, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever, where they have either hired somebody or they brought somebody in-house that's already working there and they just put them over social media. And you can see the growth instantaneously by someone actually spending the time, dedicating the time, recording the videos, posting them. Again, this now that's not free if you hire somebody, but it's still free
Right.
marketing. So
Right.
anytime you can get free marketing out there, you're going to be benefiting yourself. And it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. I feel like all marketing takes time, but
Yeah.
it's worth it for sure. So I
Yeah.
would say if you can spend, and it doesn't have to be every day, but as a total for the week, an hour a day, so 5 hours a week, I think that's more than enough time to get plenty enough content and you can backlog it. So I have videos and content backlogged for weeks sometimes where I have enough videos on there that I can just post as I get them. And if I get busy in the shop and I can't record any content, I will just use those videos and drain them out until I get where it's a happy medium again, and then fill up my phone again with more videos and do it that way. It's such a great way to do it. Don't feel like one of the biggest things you want to do when you get done with the video because you're so excited about it is post it. And you don't want to just post them all at the same time. If you post videos back to back to back to back, almost all of them will tank. None of them will do
Mm.
good. Just spread them out. Don't post more than a certain amount of times. Each platform's different and they change it constantly. So if I tell you today, here's what they want, it'll
Yeah.
change by tomorrow. So I'm not even going to waste your time with that. But if posting one a day is where I would recommend starting, 2 to 3 times a week is a good starting place. As long as you're posting at minimum 2 to 3 times a week, that's going to help at least get you started.
2 to 3 times a week, once a day. Do you, um, oh man, I have so many questions. So do you post them only when you're working in the shop, or do you also post on holidays? Oh my gosh, I don't ask three questions at the same time ever, but I'm asking you three questions because I also am in the scheduling. How far out do you have things
Yes.
scheduled?
That was my question, Jimmy, right there on the spot. When you said you had a backlog of videos and you run that through, it runs out. I just am interested in how far out you can get sometimes of planning that out, especially when holidays and busy times are coming up for you.
So anytime I'm on like vacation, holidays, or anything, I schedule those days out and I stay off social media. So I want that time to be with my family, and I will even turn off all my notifications. nothing on. I mean, most of my notifications are turned off now anyways, because I get over 100 an hour now. So it's out of hand.
Oh my gosh.
But
Hmm.
I'll have
Must be
them.
nice to be popular, Chris.
I don't know. Some days it doesn't feel like it.
But as
um,
soon as he starts getting some dance lessons, it's going to triple.
It's
that's
over.
right. That's right. But I usually schedule them out, and this goes up and down. So I do, like right now I have nothing scheduled. So I will just post them as the days progress. And I always try to post 2 reels a day on Instagram. And it doesn't always happen. So these are just rules of thumb I like to try and follow. But I don't hold myself to such a high standard that if I mess up, I'm like, oh, everything's going to go down the tube. It's okay. If I took a week off, my Instagram is not going to burn and crash. It's People are still there. No one's going anywhere. But I will have them booked out on average, usually 2 to 3 days, sometimes a week, especially if I'm on vacation. I will record a ton of videos while I'm on vacation, and I'll have 2 videos post every single day while I'm gone on vacation. And I don't do anything with them. I just let them do their things. And I might check in maybe once while I'm on the trip. If I have some time and I have some time to myself, I will. But if not, it is what it is. I'll get with everything when I get back.
Yeah, I'm sure when you're on vacation, it's 4:20 a.m. and you just bing, wake up.
That's
You got
exactly
some
right.
time.
Yep.
That's awesome. Chris, I guess with obviously your presence has grown a lot here over the last couple of years, and I'm sure a lot of people that are thinking about doing this, one big question that pops up for them has to be, how is this going to help grow my business? Have you seen a huge correlation there of as your social media presence has grown, so has the presence of your shop, and as well as utilizing other tools that you use? How do you tie those together?
So yes and no. And why I say that is yes, I've seen growth as a business as a whole, but I've also done my social media quite differently than like what you see like a Realty Auto Service or a
Yeah.
Dave's Auto Center, so on and so forth. Uh, I have done mine and turned mine into an additional business. So I
Mm.
actually make quite a bit of revenue from my social media, which is, and it, comes along with my business. But as my social media has grown, my business has grown too on top of that, because I'm paying for marketing and I'm paying for, things like that and doing blog posts and having my marketing company put that on my website. All of that comes full circle. Now, if you don't do what I did and turn it into an additional business, then yes, absolutely. You're going to see
Right.
growth. You're going to see clients come in. You can go watch these other pages and you'll see they'll do videos. This person came in from some other state because they've been watching them on TikTok and because they trust them, because they're showing their process and why they think it's important and why you shouldn't do this and why we think you should do that, and giving their opinions in real life scenarios. Our industry, as we all know it, there's just a unfortunate trust factor that people have an issue with shops. So if they find someone that they trust online, they're going to bring their car to you if you're semi-local, even if you're far. Like me now, I have lots of clients that drive an hour to my shop. I'm in a rural area. I'm in a town of 400 people, so I'm not in a huge city. And people will absolutely drive to you and come to you if they trust you. I mean, the proof is in like collaboration and content creators and social media influencers, because people trust those people. So your shop is becoming like a content creator or a social
Mm.
media influencer. It's the same idea, just you're just making the content slightly different.
Did you see that thought just evaporate? Oh, I got it. Who's your audience? Who are you making your videos for? Because you're a shop owner and you have clients, you have customers. I see a lot of your videos, they're tools, which would say technicians and DIYers, and that's a different market. So, who's your audience?
My audience is technicians and shop owners. I mean, I don't cater to DIY. I mean, I talk all the time that I don't have any interest in helping the DIY community. I have nothing against the DIY community, but I tell people all the time it's how I support my family and my wife and kids. So I don't want people to fix their own stuff. It's okay if they do, but I would prefer them to bring it to my shop and have me fix it, because I got to pay my bills and support my family. So I cater to shop owners and technicians, and I can cater to the consumer as well.
Yeah.
So now that I've hired Abby, we are starting to do more types of videos, and I call them interview style videos, where she'll come up and ask me a question, and then I answer those questions. So like the most recent one we did is, what vehicle I think will make it to 200,000 miles. And
Yes.
those types of videos are going to reach consumers because who all is going to comment on that video? First, it's going to be anybody who hears me say their vehicle.
Yep.
Second, it's anybody whose vehicle's over 200,000 miles that I didn't mention in the video,
Yep.
or anybody who disagrees or agrees with me. So those videos get a ton of interaction and they're going to reach a different type of consumer base. So I'm adding those. It was always just really hard to interview myself.
Yeah.
So until I hired somebody, I wasn't doing those videos. But now that she's here, we're adding them as time progresses. So that is my goal, is to start adding those into my normal content as well. So then I'll have the trifecta because I'll reach a huge avenue of people for sure.
Yeah. And I think within that third realm of those that disagree with you is all those technicians that say, oh, yeah, but this car is going to make it, and this car, and I have this car that made it, and da 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 da. And I saw that video that you did, that Abby recorded you, and you were talking about this vehicle, this vehicle, this vehicle. Now, between this year and this year, they had a known engine problem. It was
Yes.
bad. So you want this year to this year because those are the best years.
Correct. Yeah, and it shows your expertise in that area as well. So, and then if you look at the comments on that video, there's tons of comments in there with people with those Civics talking about how, yeah, I've just hit 300,000 miles and it's been a great vehicle, so on and
Yeah.
so forth. That video did really well. I think last time I checked, it was over 150,000 plays. So, and for that being our first interview type video, I was ecstatic with that. So we're going to do more of those because, again, that's going to reach those consumer level people because they want to know what an expert in the industry is saying about vehicles because they may be in the market to buy a used vehicle. So,
Yep. And here we are, we're reading the consumer reports where we, the public, I include myself because I just went through this process myself. What vehicles do I want to go after? What vehicles do I want to avoid? I'm going after the consumer reports. I'm digging into this. And then I thought, hey, wait a second. I happen to have a very large knowledge base I can tap into called Technicians Across America.
absolutely.
And so the vehicle that we honed in on is a Toyota Venza.
Nice. They're great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
V6, great vehicle, great vehicle. 230,000 miles on it. We anticipate hitting 300, no problem.
Oh,
It
yeah.
runs like a top. It is so dialed in. It's such a good car.
I tell people all the time, I am the perfect example of what I preach. My daily driver has 438,000 miles on it. Our loaner vehicle has 275,000 miles on it, and my other Ridgeline that I drive has 281 or 282,000 miles on it. So I practice what I preach to all my clients, that if you maintain and keep a car, it'll last you a long time. You just have to maintain it and keep it. So
Yes, and I maintained my Ford F-150 well over 200,000 miles.
Love it.
I did have to pay for it to get it there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's super cool. Very, very good. So our advice to everybody. Oh, Carlos is asking. He says, I missed it. What did you say to record? What did you say programs to edit? Chris, if you go over that again
Oh,
real
yeah,
quick.
absolutely.
Cell
So
phones.
editing, you can use iMovie, CapCut, free or paid version. So CapCut, CAPCUT, Light Cut, so LIGHT cut. And actually those would probably be the top ones to use, I would say. If you're on an iPhone, if you're not on an iPhone, then use CapCut or Light Cut. Those are both pretty good platforms. They don't have CapCut has more bells and whistles. And then to record, I would say an iPhone or an Android, a newer phone. So iPhones would be like 13 or newer. And
Yeah.
I don't know Androids, I'm sorry. And then if you want like an actual camera, this is absolutely what I recommend. It's the DJI Pocket 3.
Okay, but no, I'm going to include here, Chris. You need to tell people that they can't buy that camera until they've been doing videos for a year.
That's all right.
That's right.
You do it from your cell phone because it's in your pocket. You do it
It
from your
is.
cell phone because you've already got it.
It's
You
so
don't
true.
need to
It's
go out
right
and
there.
spend thousands of dollars.
Yes.
By the way, I just bought that one. Mine was $670. I have the exact same creator version
Yeah.
with the extended battery and the tripod and the
Mhm.
gimbal.
Yeah,
I
they're
used it over.
fantastic.
Yeah. So if you record for a year from your cell phone using the DJI or Movo. I have Movo microphones. They're
Okay, yeah.
pretty good. Mine were $150.
Yeah, that's
Not
good.
bad.
No, not at
Uh,
all.
and DJI. I agree the DJI is a very top quality microphone. Works
Yes.
really well.
Very much so. And actually the new DJI microphones have what's called 32-bit float. And so normally when you would like record a video and if there's an air hammer in the background or an impact, the audio cuts out. The new ones don't do that because they have the 32-bit float. So it is nice if you are worried about that or you have a ton of noise in your shop all the time. I would recommend doing that because you're going to have a lot of audio cuts if you're close to that impacting or air hammering. So
Nice. Nice. Very cool. Boy, man, so much that we covered here today. It's absolutely phenomenal. I think we need to bring this plane into land here for a few minutes. Last bits of advice, Chris, and then James will go to you.
get started, stay consistent, be willing to learn and grow and look at yourself and realize that you can make improvements and adjustments in your content. Consistency matters, but good content is good content. So at the end of the day, that's what truly matters.
Love it. Love
Awesome.
it. Be
Awesome. Yeah,
consistent.
I think a big thing that I've taken from not just this particular webinar, but everything you can be involved with is just always keep your mind open and really put yourself in situations of you never know what that next big light bulb is going to be or who's going to be in front of you. Someone like Chris who has all this knowledge and all this expertise in something that maybe you're not doing to grow your shop. There's always so many tools out there and so many different ways to approach things. And I think that I've learned a lot today. Luckily my generation is at least within social media, but do I use it every day? No. So it's always great to hear how are you using it, Chris? What's going on there? And just get a lot of these questions answered that are always out there.
Nice. Yeah. I've loved it as well. I've loved it as well. One last question from John. What would be the best platform to start on B? Does it matter?
Facebook.
Oh, start on Facebook.
Mhm. Yeah, Facebook typically is like you guys found is where most of your core target audience is going to be. Now, the best way to find out is ask your clients just when they come in and pick up their vehicle or drop off their vehicle, say, hey, we're looking to start social media. We'd love to know what platforms you use the most. That's the best way to find out. But I have found that Facebook and Instagram are typically the two most common ones that everyone uses. But your demographic may be different and they may be using TikTok and that's what they're on because there is a common misconception that TikTok is a much younger demographic. And while, yes, there are a lot of younger people on TikTok, my demographic is still older than what you see the lower age demographics. Like I don't have 13-year-olds following me. My youngest followers are around 25 years old and then up to
Yes.
about 35 years old. So you're
Mm.
still going to target a different demographic either way.
Nice. I like that. Okay, so we're going to start on Facebook. Would you also suggest that because it is Facebook, it's Meta, you just instantly share it to Instagram as well?
Yeah, if you're
Might
going to
as
do
well.
one,
It's free, it's easy, it's a click a box and you're good.
very much so. Absolutely.
Okay. With that, we're going to close this down, my friends. Thank you very much for joining us. Make sure you check out Steer as a CRM because you're going to get busy doing all this social media stuff. You need to
Right.
set up all that automation, James, right?
I love it. You got it. You nailed it, Jimmy.
Set up the automation, tie it in with your point of sale system. So your automatic reminders, your appointment reminders, your decline services, your happy birthdays, your thank yous, your review requests, they all go out automatically because you're out spending your time recording some social media videos to post on and, get yourself some dance lessons so you can be on TikTok too. Chris, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, brother. This has
Absolutely.
been absolutely phenomenal. My name is Jimmy Lee. I am with the Institute. You have advisors, managers, owners that are looking for coaching and training. If you are one like Chris that started out in the industry, decided you were going to do it on your own, there's things you don't know that you don't know. We at the Institute would love to help you out. There are quite a few training instructional videos that are available. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on our website. A lot of information that can start your solid foundation. And then if you're ready to take it to the next level, we'd love to go there on that journey with you. Upcoming events in October, 8 through 12, 5-day service advisor training, super intensive in Ogden, Utah, at the headquarters of the Institute. If you have service advisors that need training, bring them our way. We would happily give them that solid foundation to build off of so that they can definitely help you as a shop to grow and be bigger and better. And then in February, we have the summit, Amelia Island, Florida. It's going to be amazing.
Can't wait.
Andrew, I'll see you there. Thank you very much, guys. We'll talk to you soon.